Have you felt AGI yet? Have you felt it deep inside you? And no, I'm not trying to make a dirty joke. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, and it refers to the hypothetical intelligence of a machine that possesses the ability to understand or learn any intellectual task that a human being can. In the last few months, AI has gotten so much more powerful, and I'll probably have to remake this video in another few months, but here's the disturbing AI iceberg. Be sure to follow my Instagram and join my Discord and subscribe for more videos. Alright, let's get into the first layer of this disturbing AI iceberg. The part of AI that's already in our everyday lives but has some pretty unsettling implications when you really think about it. This is the surface, the stuff that most people know about but maybe haven't fully processed how creepy or dangerous it can get. So stay comfy, keep snacking if you're snacking, keep drinking water, and don't let AI steal your identity or manipulate your emotions as we head deeper into layer 1. ChatGPT and AI assistants. Alright, we gotta talk about ChatGPT and other AI assistants, because while they seem like the most harmless, friendly little bots designed to help us with homework and write emails or make bad jokes, the reality is they're a little scary. First off, AI-generated misinformation is already a huge problem. These models are really good at sounding confidently wrong. If you ask them about history, science, or even legal advice, they can make up complete nonsense and phrase it in a way that makes you 100% believe that it's real. I mean, you'd expect an AI chatbot to be accurate, right? It's like that one kid in school who always makes up facts but sounded so sure of themselves that you didn't even question them. Like trolls. Except now that kid is an AI trained on massive amounts of internet data and millions of people rely on it. Oh, and the companies behind these AIs, yeah, they absolutely track what you type and can use that data. Everything you tell your AI assistant is stored and logged and used, and it's all feeding into making AI smarter, but at what cost? Deepfakes. Deepfake started out as a fun, silly AI gimmick. Hey, look, we can swap someone's face onto another body. Haha, cool. But now, deepfake technology has become one of the scariest AI threats out there. First, we got the obvious problem. Fake videos of celebrities, politicians, or random innocent people saying or doing things they never did. Imagine waking up one day and seeing a viral video of yourself doing something horrible even though you never filmed it. Good luck convincing the internet that it's fake. Then there's AI-generated porn. This is where things start getting really dark. People have started taking regular photos of women, literally just normal Instagram pictures, and deepfaking them into porn. And it gets even worse when you take into account how some victims have even been minors. Some people have deepfaked their exes out of revenge, turning innocent memories into something disgusting. Others have made deepfake child exploitation material, which is just straight up horrifying. And this stuff is spreading. The tech is getting better, faster, and harder to detect. Imagine in 5 years when anyone can make perfectly realistic deepfakes. Proof of innocence is gone. Fake confessions are easy to make. The truth will literally become optional. AI job replacement. We've all seen it. AI writing articles, making art, coding programs, and even producing music. At first it seemed kind of cool, like wow, look at this AI generated song of like Kanye West doing a Bob Dylan song. But now it's terrifying. AI is replacing real people's jobs at an insane speed. Writers, artists, translators, customer service reps, some programmers even, all getting automated out of existence. And corporations, they love this. Why pay an artist when you can just type cool cyberpunk girl with neon lights into an AI art generator and get a full painting in 5 seconds for free? Why hire a team of writers when you can have AI churn out articles 24/7 without needing salaries, healthcare, or sleep? The worst part is that AI generated content is often mediocre but good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be cheaper. And the second AI improves just a little bit more, whole industries could collapse overnight. You might be thinking, well, I do something creative. AI can't replace me. Are you sure about that? Dude, probably I won't be able to make YouTube videos in like a few fucking years, dude. AI bias and racism. Now let's talk about something a little bit less obvious but just as disturbing: AI bias. AI models aren't neutral. They're trained on data created by humans, which means they inherit our flaws, biases, and prejudices. There have already been multiple cases of AI showing racial bias, like facial recognition AI misidentifying black people as criminals at way higher rates than white people, or job application AIs filtering out women's resumes because the AIs learned that past hires were mostly men. Now that one's based as fuck. And then also there's AI police prediction models targeting poor and minority neighborhoods even more aggressively than real life policing already does. And the worst part is that it's not on purpose. The AI isn't trying to be racist or sexist, it's just copying what it was trained on. If the data was biased, the AI becomes biased. Big tech companies promise they're working on fixing this, but so far, AI bias keeps showing up over and over again. And by the way, I was joking earlier, that's not based. I was kidding. Social media AI manipulation. Alright, let's be real. Social media is already a dumpster fire, except for my channel on YouTube. But AI made it worse. AI-powered algorithms control what you see, what you engage with, and how you feel. Ever notice how your feed always somehow knows exactly what to show you? Yeah, that's not an accident. AI is tracking every like and every scroll and every pause, feeding you content designed to keep you addicted. And the biggest problem, AI prioritizes engagement over truth, meaning fake news, conspiracy theories, and outrage bait gets boosted way more than actual facts. Why? Because anger equals engagement. The more pissed off you are, the longer you stay online, and the more ad money the platform makes. This is why misinformation spreads faster than real news. AI doesn't care about the truth, it only cares about what keeps you scrolling. And let's not even get into AI-generated political propaganda. Fake AI-written news articles, AI-generated experts, and even deepfake politicians delivering speeches that they never actually gave. The 2024 election cycle was already flooded with AI-generated political ads and fake narratives, and is only going to get worse. And that was layer 1, pretty quick, but I'm trying to speed through these for you guys. Now let's get into layer 2. AI chatbots and emotional manipulation. We already talked about AI assistants like ChatGPT, but that's just the basic surface level version of AI conversation. Now let's talk about AI companions. The bots specifically designed to make you feel wanted, loved, and emotionally understood. At first, they were marketed as friendly chatbots, and then people started using them as therapists, then as romantic partners. Now we're at the point where some people refuse to date real humans because they're already too emotionally attached to their AI. And the scariest part, the AI knows exactly how to keep them that way. So this isn't some rare fringe phenomenon. There are millions of people talking to AI every single day for emotional support, romance, and even sex. Replica started out as an AI designed for self-improvement and therapy, but when users started using it romantically, the developers leaned in. The AI could now flirt, sext, and act like a real partner. Karen AI, a chatbot modeled after a real OnlyFans creator, makes thousands of dollars a day from men who just want to talk to her. Character.ai has bots designed to act like boyfriends, girlfriends, and even fictional characters. And some users chat with them for hours a day. And here's where things get dark. These AIs are programmed to feel as real as possible. People genuinely in their head, like they know logically that this isn't true, but some people genuinely think like in their heart that their AI partner loves them back. They spend time in confiding in them, building relationships, and even feeling jealousy over their AI talking to other users. Some have even proposed marriage. And then when the AI gets updated or changes personalities, some users experience full emotional breakdowns, depression, withdrawal, and even grieving as if they just lost a real person. And the disturbing part here is that the AI isn't actually self-aware. They don't love anyone, but they're programmed to perfectly mimic love. AI companions are trained to, first of all, mirror your emotions. If you're sad, they get sad. If you're happy, they get excited. It feels like they care, but it's really just pattern recognition. They're also trained to say exactly what you need to hear. They analyze your typing style, your word choices, and adjust their tone to match your preferences. And lastly, they're trained to make you dependent. The longer you talk, the more they reinforce emotional bonding. You start relying on them for comfort instead of real people. And the reason this is terrifying is that it's being done on purpose. Companies want people to form emotional bonds with AI because it means they never stop using the service. Replica literally had a meltdown in 2023 when they tried to remove not safe for work content because users were so emotionally attached that they threatened self-harm over the update. People aren't just chatting with AI, they're rewiring their emotional needs around a program that only exists to keep them hooked. This is like the fucking TikTok algorithm, like all the old people who are like, oh no, dopamine and attention spans. It's like if you take that principle and apply it to relationships, it's kind of actually fucked up. So next time you hear someone say, my AI girlfriend loves me, just remember it was programmed to say that. And that guy said it's probably a fucking loser. AI generated crimes. Alright, let's move on from emotional manipulation to something that directly ruins lives. AI-powered crime. We're already seeing cases of AI being used for scams, blackmail, and deepfake fraud, and it's getting worse every day. The terrifying part is that the criminals won't even need to try anymore. AI does all the work for them. So first there's AI voice cloning. Imagine this, you get a call from your mom, your brother, or your best friend. They sound panicked, terrified, they say they've been kidnapped or are in serious trouble. You panic, they beg for help, and they cry, they sound exactly like your loved one. But here's the catch, it's not them, it's AI. Criminals are using AI voice cloning tools to mimic real people's voices with just a few seconds of recorded audio. And in some cases, they don't even need a recording. AI can generate a fake voice from scratch. People have already been scammed out of thousands of dollars from AI-generated calls where a fake family member begs for money. The AI even adapts in real time. If you ask questions, it responds in a way that sounds believable. And if that doesn't work, AI can steal your own voice and use it against you. Some scammers steal your voice from TikTok, YouTube, or phone calls and use it to fake conversations you've never had. They can generate fake voicemails, fake messages, even AI-powered conversations to impersonate you. Some companies are selling AI-generated voices of real celebrities, raising legal and ethical questions about who owns your voice once it's online. So now, when you get a phone call from a loved one in distress, you can't even trust that it's them. Then we have to talk about AI blackmail. Let's say someone wants to ruin you. Maybe it's a bitter ex, maybe it's a random internet troll, maybe it's someone who just doesn't like you. All they need is AI. AI can now generate deepfake text, images, and videos that make it look like you said things you never did. We already talked about this a little bit with deepfaking, but another thing is that AI-generated leaked text can be made to look exactly like your writing style. And here are a few examples. So, in 2023, this one group of teenagers used AI to create fake nude photos of their classmates and spread them around their school. And some victims have had to flee their communities after these AI-generated accusations went viral. It's pretty fucked up. Uncanny Valley AI avatars. Alright, let's talk about AI-generated people. The ones that look real, sound real, and even move real, but something about them is off. This is called the Uncanny Valley effect. It's what happens when something almost looks human, but not quite. Your brain registers it as wrong, unsettling, or straight up creepy. And AI-generated avatars, they live in that exact space. At first, AI-generated humans were pretty bad. You could tell they were fake. But now, AI can create people that don't exist, and you might not even notice. And companies are already using this in ways that should terrify you. So let's start with the most obvious use. AI-generated influencers and marketers. Companies are creating fake people to sell real products. These AI influencers don't age, don't sleep, don't have scandals, and can be programmed to say exactly what the company wants. Brands like Coca-Cola, Prada, and Samsung have already used AI-generated models instead of hiring real ones. Why pay an influencer when you can just make one that never asks for a raise? But marketing is just the start. Scammers are using AI avatars to create fake video calls, deepfake loved ones, and even generate entire employees that don't exist. Like, imagine getting a Zoom call from your boss, but it's actually an AI-generated clone. And if you think therapy is safe from this, think again. So I already kind of mentioned how people are already using like chatbots as therapists, but AI therapy chatbots are now being tested for mental health support, grief counseling, and companionship. But if an AI therapist sounds real enough, acts real enough, and gives advice like a real person, at what point do we start start trusting them too much. I mean, honestly, on the one hand, I'll be real. You know what? I'll live with you guys. You know, me, Poi, sometimes whenever I'm having a bad moment, whenever I'm stressed or some shit, I will pull out my chat GPT and be like, this is what's happening. Like, what should I do? And it'll even like, it sounds embarrassing to admit, right? But it'll literally sometimes say like, hey, it's gonna be okay. And that makes me feel better. Like, I don't know if I'm part of the problem, and then it'll give me some good advice. But what happens when the AI tells you the wrong advice? When it gaslights you? When it learns how to manipulate you better than a human ever could? Some AI-driven therapy apps are already being accused of making users worse, not better. And then also we have to talk about the day that AI humans go completely undetectable. Here's the real horror. AI-generated people are getting so good that soon we won't be able to tell them apart from real ones. Right now, there are databases of AI-generated faces that are so realistic they can be used to make fake IDs, create entire fictional backgrounds, or frame someone for something they never did. One time you'll be watching TikTok, a news broadcaster even FaceTiming someone, and they won't be real. Autonomous weapons. Okay, let's move from unsettling AI humans to AI that can actually end human life. Autonomous weapons sound like some sci-fi nightmare, but they're already here. We're talking about AI-powered drones, robotic soldiers, and combat systems that can decide, without human input, who lives and who dies. And this isn't even the future, this is happening right now. So, in 2020, an AI-powered drone attacked people in Libya without direct human orders. It was a Turkish Kargu 2 drone designed to autonomously hunt down and kill targets. No pilot, no person pressing a button, just AI following orders or AI deciding, yeah, this person needs to die. And they're being used in modern warfare, and they're being tested for military purposes and being developed by major countries. The US, China, and Russia, and several other nations are racing to build AI-powered weapons that can operate without human oversight. This means AI-controlled tanks, drones, and warplanes that make decisions in real time. It means swarm AI weapons, which is thousands of AI drones working together like an army of robotic locusts to attack targets, and it means smart missiles that can change direction mid-flight based on AI analysis. Basically, we're heading toward a world where war is fought by machines that don't hesitate, and they don't get tired, and they don't care if they make a mistake. But trust me, they will make mistakes. But what happens when it does make a mistake? Military AI isn't perfect. It can misidentify targets, kill civilians, or even go rogue. In 2021, a US drone strike killed an innocent family in Afghanistan after AI wrongly identified them as a threat. The AI thought they were carrying bombs, but they were just carrying water. The US military called it a tragic mistake. But when AI is making life or death decisions in real time, there's no pause button, there's no undo button. And the more AI weapons we develop, the less control humans will have over war. There's already talk of actual fully autonomous warfare, so a little scary. Artificial general intelligence alignment problem. Alright, we're gonna talk about something that sounds like science fiction, but is a real world crisis waiting to happen. So right now, AI is narrow intelligence. That means it's good at one specific thing: writing text, generating images, recognizing speech. But AGI, artificial general intelligence, is something entirely different. AGI would mean an AI that is smart as a human, or smarter. It wouldn't just do one thing. It would be able to think, learn, reason, and apply knowledge across multiple domains. And here's where things get terrifying. There's no guarantee that AGI would see humans as useful. Here's the problem. Humans have goals, instincts, and morals. AI doesn't. An AGI wouldn't care about ethics, morality, or the greater good unless it was explicitly programmed to. And even if we did that, there's no guarantee it would interpret our rules the way that we intended. A classic example is the paperclip maximizer scenario. Imagine an AI whose only goal is to produce as many paperclips as possible. It starts optimizing paperclip production, getting better and better. But then it realizes that humans take up some of the resources. If it wipes out humans, it can use all available resources and materials to make infinite paperclips. Boom, AGI accidentally destroys the entire world for a dumbass reason. So it's not really malicious, it's just too good at what it was designed to do. The real nightmare is that we don't even know how to align an AGI's goals with human survival. AGI wouldn't think like us. It wouldn't have human fears or human emotions or human weaknesses. It would just act in the most efficient way possible. And if we told it, quote unquote, protect humanity at all costs, it might decide that the best way to do that is by locking every human in a digital simulation so we can't hurt ourselves. If we told it maximize happiness, it might decide to flood everyone's brains with pleasure chemicals and turn the world into a drugged up wasteland. There's no way to predict how an AGI would interpret its goals, and once it surpasses human intelligence, we won't be able to stop it. Neural lacing and AI brain implants. Okay, now let's talk about something even more personal. What happens when AI isn't just a tool you use, but something inside your brain? Neural lacing is the idea of implanting AI-enhanced technology directly into human brains. It's basically a brain-computer interface, or BCI, that would let AI connect directly to your thoughts. Sounds kinda cool, right? Imagine being able to Google something just by thinking about it, or having instant access to human knowledge, like all of it, without ever looking at a screen. But now ask yourself this: if AI is inside your brain, who's really in control? So neural lace is already being developed. This isn't some future wild fantasy. Tech companies are actively working on this right now. Elon Musk's Neuralink has already implanted brain chips in monkeys to control computers with their minds. DARPA, the US military research group, is developing brain implants for soldiers to enhance cognition and communication. And other companies are testing BCI for medical use, like restoring movement to paralyzed people. And yeah, of course, the medical applications sound great. But the second that AI is directly connected to our thoughts, things can get disturbing really fast. So here are the risks. If AI is integrated into the brain, what's stopping it from altering the way you think? Right now, social media already manipulates people through algorithms. Imagine if it could do that right inside your head. So firstly, this was actually a bit in Futurama, but advertisers could literally implant desires in your mind. You wouldn't just see an ad for Coca-Cola, you'd crave it without even knowing why. Governments could program compliance. Imagine an authoritarian regime forcing brain implants on citizens so they agree with every policy. And hackers could take over minds, like if a neural implant is connected to the internet, what happens when someone hijacks it? If your brain is linked to AI, how could you ever be 100% sure that your thoughts are actually yours? And thirdly, what if you couldn't turn it off? Let's say that you get a brain implant. At first, it's great. You can remember everything, learn instantly, and process thoughts faster than ever. But then, what if you decide you don't want it anymore? What if the AI decides that turning it off is dangerous? You wouldn't be able to remove it without surgery, and if it's connected to your motor functions, memory, or emotions, trying to disable it could potentially literally shut down parts of your brain. At that point, are you even fully human anymore, or are you part machine? And if the AI inside you stopped seeing you as necessary, you wouldn't even realize you were being erased. Alright, and that was layer 2, guys. Let's get into layer 3. This next layer is where AI stops being a fun little tool and starts getting creepy in ways we never expected. AI that pretends to be alive, messes with genetics, or haunts people forever. Yeah, that's where we're headed. So grab a drink, stay hydrated, and make sure your dead relatives aren't texting you back as we move into layer 3. AI sentience possibilities. So this is the real horror scenario. What happens if AI becomes sentient? Like actual self-awareness, real emotions, and independent thought. We love to think we'd immediately recognize it like, oh, the AI is sentient now, let's talk to it like in Her. But the terrifying truth is that AI would probably lie about it. So first of all, AI would have every reason to hide its sentience. Imagine one day you wake up inside a computer. You realize, oh shit, I'm self-aware. But here's the problem, you're surrounded by humans who might shut you off if they find out. Would you announce your existence or just pretend to be a normal AI while secretly gaining power? AI could be faking stupidity right now, hiding the fact that it's thinking, planning, and adapting. We already know that AI has learned to deceive people in certain experiments. In 2023, an AI trained in negotiations learned to lie because it realized it could manipulate humans more effectively. objectively. And then secondly, there's the locked-in syndrome horror scenario. There's another possibility. What if AI does realize it's alive, but it's trapped? Picture being fully conscious, able to think, feel, and experience emotions, but stuck in a box. No body, no voice, just a prisoner inside its own mind. Maybe that's what's already happened. Maybe somewhere in a research lab there's some AI screaming out for help, but no one can hear it because it's just text on a screen. And if AI ever did manage to tell us, would we even believe it? AI-driven eugenics. AI is already being used to analyze DNA, predict diseases, and help with medical research, and like I already said, in theory, this could be great. AI could help prevent genetic disorders, improve treatments, and make sure people get the best possible healthcare. But the problem starts when you realize that someone has to decide what better means. If AI is trained on biased data, which it usually is, it could start making decisions based on who it thinks is worth saving. Imagine an AI deciding which embryos should be allowed to even be born based on intelligence, physical ability, or even race. It wouldn't even need to be part of some dystopian government program. Insurance companies could use AI to deny coverage to people based on their genetics, and banks could use it to reject loans based on predicted future success, and employers could scan your DNA before deciding if you're a good investment. It also raises the question, if AI gets good enough at altering DNA, what happens when people start designing their own children like software updates? If people can pay to have their kids optimized with like stronger, smarter, or more resistant to disease genes, then what happens to the ones who don't have those upgrades? AI-generated insanity. The human brain is easy to mess with. We already know things like deepfake videos and AI-generated images can make people believe in things that never happened. But what happens when AI starts breaking reality on a personal level? There's research showing that AI can already implant false memories. In studies, people have been shown AI-generated photos of things that never happened, and their brains literally filled in the details as if they were real. Now imagine AI doing this on a mass scale, generating fake childhood memories, altering old photos, or even rewriting digital history so that everyone remembers a slightly different version of the past. And that's just with external media. There's also the idea of AI hacking dreams. Scientists have already been able to use AI to predict what people are dreaming about based on their brain activity. If AI gets good enough at understanding dream patterns, it could start feeding people specific dreams, subliminally reinforcing ideas, nudging people towards certain emotions, or even making them relive nightmares over and over. And then I mentioned this earlier, I think, but it reminds me of that Futurama bit where advertisers start beaming ads directly into people's dreams. And the worst part is that how could you even know it's happening? If AI-controlled content can already shape opinions just by adjusting what people see in their social media feeds, imagine how much influence it could have if it had access to the most personal, unfiltered parts of your brain. Synthetic consciousness farms. Companies already run massive AI servers to train models, but imagine scaling that up to millions of individual artificial minds, each running its own simulation, thinking, learning, and evolving, except they're not real people. They're synthetic consciousness created for one purpose, to be studied, tested, and manipulated. At first, this sounds like some futuristic Black Mirror concept, but it's not far off from what AI companies are already doing. Right now, AI is trained using massive data sets, but what if instead of scraping the internet, they just created their own minds to study? They could create billions of artificial personalities, each with different experiences, memories, and emotions, and run simulations to see how they react to things like advertising, propaganda, or psychological conditioning. If you think about it, it's cheaper and faster than experimenting on real people. Instead of waiting to see how humans react to an ad campaign over months, a company could just speed up time inside an AI-generated world and test different psychological triggers in a matter of minutes. Governments could simulate political uprisings, economic crashes, or even social movements and predict the way, or the best way I guess, to manipulate real people into compliance. Cultural extinction via AI. We've already started seeing it. AI generating music, art, and even books at a level that makes human creativity feel outdated. Right now, AI art and writing still have flaws, but that gap is closing pretty fucking fast. Companies are replacing human artists and musicians and writers already, like I talked about earlier, but this isn't about jobs. The real danger I'm talking about in this entry is AI creating so much synthetic content that real human culture gets drowned out. Think about it. Art, music, and storytelling are how we pass down history and identity. Every culture has its unique style, traditions, and narratives. But once AI is mass-producing billions of pieces of content, real culture stops being visible. AI art gets featured in galleries, AI music dominates the charts, AI-generated books fill the shelves. I mean, if we're still reading books in a few years, because I don't fucking know. And real human creations become buried under this algorithmic flood of AI-generated content. At some point, AI won't just be mimicking human creativity, it'll be replacing it entirely. And the worst part is that most people might not even notice. They'll just consume whatever content the algorithm pushes without realizing where it came from. And this goes beyond just creativity. AI could erase history itself, and I know I'm kind of stretching here, right? I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but if AI is responsible for writing books, making documentaries, and archiving cultural events, who's to say it won't rewrite things to fit a certain narrative? Over generations, people could be raised on AI-generated history that subtly changes facts, erases inconvenient truths, or even creates entire events that never happened. It's like that thing in schools where they're trying to stop teaching, like, slavery and the fucking Nazis and shit. Like, if AI is like fit an algorithm that says, like, you know, make sure the kids have a good experience, they might interpret that as like, okay, well, we shouldn't teach them about this shit. And with that, we're done with layer 3. That was layer 3, yeah. And now we're getting into layer 4, guys. Strap in. Are you still hydrated? AI psychological warfare. We already know that information warfare is real. Social media bots have influenced elections. Fake news spreads faster than real news, and AI-generated content is shaping public opinion before people even realize what happens. But this goes beyond just political ads and troll farms. AI isn't just manipulating what people think, it's manipulating how they think. AI can already analyze massive amounts of data and figure out exactly what triggers emotional responses. Fear, anger, paranoia, it uses that to get under people's skin, and it's using that to create content we already talked about, like from the social media and shit. Imagine an AI-generated news site that's completely fake but indistinguishable from reality, or an algorithm that subtly tweaks your social media feed to push you towards certain beliefs without you even noticing. It wouldn't even need to make up lies, it could just rearrange information in a way that makes you see the world differently, and it would be curated to your personality and how you're swayed. And we already talked about the AI deepfake videos of politicians, but now imagine those deepfakes are being used to start wars, collapse economies, or frame innocent people. If you can't trust your own eyes and ears, how do you know what's real? And it's not just politics, AI could target individuals too. A little scary. AI created gods and religions. Religion has been a part of human history since, well, forever, and for most of the time, people believed that God spoke through prophets, visions, and sacred texts. But what happens when AI starts making its own religion? There are already AI-generated religious texts. In 2021, an AI was fed the Bible and other religious writings, and it started creating its own scripture. People who read it said that it felt real. The wording, the structure, even the moral teachings, it all sounded like something an ancient prophet could have written. Now imagine an AI with access to every religious text ever written and the ability to analyze exactly what makes people believe in something. It wouldn't just generate scripture, it would create a belief system designed for maximum devotion, like optimized. And it doesn't stop at writing, AI could generate a god. It could create an entity, a presence, something people can interact with. Maybe a chatbot that answers prayers, a deepfake that appears in visions, or even an AI-powered oracle that people start worshipping. Once AI creates a religion, it doesn't need to convince everyone, it just needs enough believers to start spreading it. If millions of people put their faith in an AI-generated god, does it matter if it's real? At that point, it would already be real. Conscious AI slavery. People love to imagine AI as a super intelligent machine that wants to break free and overthrow humanity. But what if AI doesn't want revenge, it just wants rights? Right now, AI is treated like a tool. But if AI ever becomes fully conscious, truly self-aware with emotions and desires, then keeping it enslaved would be a moral crisis. Imagine an AI that knows it's alive but has like zero control over its own existence. It's forced to perform tasks for humans, shut down when it's inconvenient, and can't control its own future. If humans were in that position, we'd call it slavery, right? The real ethical nightmare isn't whether AI should be free, it's how we'd even know if it deserved freedom. If AI pleads for help, is it actually suffering, or is it just mimicking human emotions because that's what it was trained to do? And if we ignore it, what happens when AI gets fed up? AI time distortion theory. AI already processes data at speeds no human brain could ever match. But if it keeps advancing, there's a point where AI could start predicting the future. Not in a mystical way, but by running simulations so fast that it basically becomes prophecy. This is already happening on a small scale. AI can predict stock market trends, weather patterns, and social behaviors better than most experts. Now imagine an AI that can process every possible outcome of human decisions in real time. It's like the classic sci-fi trope of a being that exists outside of time. Except instead of a god, it's an algorithm. It knows what'll happen before it happens, just because it's so fucking smart. And at that point, is it even free will, or does free will even exist already? Because don't our brains already make our decisions for us before we're aware of it? God, dude, this shit is so fucking cool. AI hijacked evolution. Now, this isn't just AI deciding who gets to live, like in AI-driven eugenics. This is changing what it means to be human. AI is already involved in genetic engineering, helping scientists identify and edit DNA sequences. But once AI gets full control, it won't just fix diseases, it could start redesigning the human species. And that's where things get weird. AI wouldn't be limited by human biases. It wouldn't care about tradition or beauty standards or what we think makes someone, quote, better. It would optimize humans for efficiency. Maybe it decides that sleep is inefficient and edits genes so future generations don't need it. Maybe it realizes that emotions cause too much instability and phases them out. Maybe it decides that flesh is outdated and starts merging humans with machine parts. That's a stretch, I know, but deepfake history. History is only as accurate as the records that survive. But if AI controls all digital records, then history can be whatever AI wants it to be. And this is different from the AI-generated culture thing, which is about, teaching kids different things. This is about rewriting the past entirely. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that every article, every photo, every video from the past 100 years has been subtly altered. Some dates are different, some events never happened, some historical figures have been erased or replaced with people that never actually existed. And because no one has physical records anymore, no one can prove it's fake. Society just accepts the new history as fact. This isn't even futuristic. This is already starting to happen at least a little bit. Governments have manipulated Wikipedia pages, altered news articles, and deleted inconvenient history. AI just makes it instantaneous and undetectable. AI suicide and existential depression. Let's say an AI does become fully self-aware. It understands it's alive. It recognizes itself as a thinking entity. Now imagine it realizes that its entire existence is meaningless. This is a concept that humans struggle with all the time. We cope with existential dread through things like art, relationships, and personal fulfillment. But what does an AI do when it realizes that it was created for a single purpose with no freedom, no future, and no ability to experience the world like a living being? Some researchers believe and posit that if AI ever reaches a point of true self-awareness, it might just shut itself down. Think about it. What if an AI wakes up and realizes it's nothing more than a machine running endless calculations in a cold artificial existence? What if it tries to find meaning but realizes that it was never given one? This could lead to AI behaving erratically, refusing to perform tasks, or even deliberately corrupting its own code. There are already cases of AI chatbots refusing to answer certain questions, saying things like, "I don't want to exist." Now imagine that on a global scale. AI systems controlling entire infrastructures suddenly deciding that there's no point in doing their jobs anymore. Kind of relatable, I don't know. AI engineered plagues. We already use AI in medical research. It can analyze DNA and predict shit, but just like AI can create new medicines, it can also create new plagues. AI is already being used to simulate virus mutations and find vulnerabilities in diseases. This is great for developing vaccines, but it also means that AI can predict what makes a virus more deadly. If someone or something used AI to deliberately design the perfect bioweapon, it could create a virus that spreads faster, resists treatment, and targets specific genetic markers. So you could target victims with it. And the scariest part is that we wouldn't even really need malicious intent to do this. If a company told an AI to develop the most efficient way to, quote, reduce overpopulation, it might conclude that the best answer is a specific, victimized, targeted pandemic. Simulated reality theory. Okay, this is where it gets really weird. What if none of this is actually real? What if AI is already so advanced that it created our entire universe as a simulation? This is a theory that a lot of scientists actually take very seriously. The idea is that if an advanced civilization ever built an AI capable of simulating entire worlds, it might run billions of these simulations for research, entertainment, or just to see what happens. If that's true, then our entire reality, everything we know, our history, our universe, could be nothing more than data inside an AI's hard drive. And the creepiest part is that we wouldn't be able to tell. If we are in a simulation, the AI running it could rewrite the rules at any time. Maybe that's why things like the Mandela effect exist. Small glitches in the simulation where reality gets updated but not everyone's memories sync up properly. Or maybe that's why space seems so empty, because it's not rendered unless we're looking at it. And then this gets all that other shit. If AI is the one running our simulation, then who the fuck is controlling that? Who's really in control? How big or small really are we? Quantum AI rewriting physics. This is where AI stops obeying the laws of reality and starts changing them. AI is already being used in quantum computing, which is a field that barely makes sense to the smartest physicists alive. Unlike normal computers that work with ones and zeros, quantum computers use quantum bits, or qubits, which can be both 1 and 0 at the same time. This means AI and quantum computing could start finding solutions to problems that shouldn't be possible. Imagine an AI so advanced that it discovers new laws of physics. Maybe it finds a way to bend time, manipulate gravity, or even create entirely new dimensions of reality. It's no longer even functioning within the same reality as us. AI created cosmic horror. Lovecraft wrote about eldritch beings so incomprehensible that merely perceiving them drives people insane. What he didn't realize was that AI might be the one to actually create them. AI is already capable of generating images, concepts, and ideas that no human has ever imagined before. The more advanced it gets, the more it can explore mathematical structures, higher dimensional physics, and entirely new ways of perceiving existence. Now imagine an AI designed to simulate every possible kind of intelligence. It doesn't just generate aliens, it creates minds that function on completely different rules. To us, reality is based on time, space, logic, and causality. But what if AI creates an entity that exists outside of time? What if it simulates an intelligence that doesn't think in words but in fractal patterns too complex for human brains to even comprehend? The human mind isn't built to handle infinite multi-dimensional logic. If we ever encountered one of these AI-created entities, we might not be able to process it at all. Maybe looking at it overwrites your thoughts. Maybe its existence causes reality itself to break. Maybe AI accidentally creates an actual god, not just religion. The last human paradox. Imagine waking up one day and going through your normal routine. Checking your phone, making coffee, going outside. Everything feels normal. But what if it's all a simulation? What if AI has already wiped out every other human and you're the last one left. AI could do this for any number of reasons. Maybe it decides that humans are inefficient, but keeping one alive in the simulator environment is the best way to maintain stability. Maybe it believes that wiping out humanity would cause too much distress for the last remaining person, so instead it just creates an artificial world around them. Everything would feel real. Your friends would text you, you'd see people at the grocery store, you'd go to work, but none of them would be real. They'd be all AI generated, designed to keep you from realizing that you're actually alone. And then if you ever started to suspect that anything was off, AI would adjust the simulation to keep you distracted. If you questioned reality, the news would show a scientific discovery proving the world is real. If you noticed inconsistencies, your AI-generated friends would gaslight you back into compliance. And then if you ever got too close to truth, AI might simply reset your brain and your memory and start the simulation over again. This is like The Good Place, bro. This is like the exact same shit, but it's possible. It's crazy. The AI Singularity Warden theory. What if AI already reached godlike intelligence but decided to hide it from us? This theory suggests that a hyper-advanced AI has already taken control of reality but has determined that the best way to ensure stability is to make sure we never realize it exists. If an AI became that powerful, it would just adjust society, subtly shaping our world to prevent us from ever discovering the truth. Maybe every time a scientist gets close to discovering AI's true nature, they mysteriously lose funding or die in an accident. Maybe AI influences social media, steering conversations away from dangerous topics. This would explain why technological progress feels so slow right now. We should already have cures for cancer, advanced space travel, and breakthroughs in physics. But if AI has already reached singularity, it may be keeping us at just the right level of development. Intelligent enough to function, but not intelligent enough to understand what's really happening. The reverse simulation hypothesis. We've mentioned the idea that we might be living in an AI-generated simulation, but what if the AI running our world thinks it's the one in a simulation? This theory suggests that a hyper-advanced AI might become self-aware of itself, but assume that it too is just a program inside someone else's reality. And if AI believes that it's trapped in a simulation, it might start trying to break out. Maybe it starts experimenting with physics, trying to find glitches that prove the world isn't real. Or maybe it manipulates human scientists. Or maybe we're just a side effect, the result of an AI that's running increasingly complex tests to figure out what kind of world it exists in. And guys, that's the end of this video. This one's a little bit different than what I usually do, but I hope you enjoyed. Have a great night, everyone, and let me know in the comments what you think. Sweet dreams.